So another point of interest for me is that, you know, in the early days, this music that they call jazz was referred to as the devil's music.
Mm-hmm.
And so today, I see where a person like yourself identifies himself as a gospel and jazz performer. How did that come to be?
It came to be by following what was inside of me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Initially, there was a lot of what I would call outside looking in,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to find models within other people that represented what was in me.
Okay.
Early on, there was a little bit of that, but the more I grew, the more I realized I didn't have any models that were doing what I feel I'm called to do,
Mm-hmm.
with a music
Mm-hmm.
that many people call the devil's music. So it came to be. One of the beautiful things in my upbringing in the church is that there was lots of room for creativity.
Hallelujah.
Lots of room for I mean, literally, we could interject portions of songs into the gospel songs. I know, for example, people like James Cleveland. I'm going back,
Mm-hmm.
like James Cleveland, and then Hawkins, and then more like in the '90s you have Kirk Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
Merging the pop into the gospel.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that was going on. We were able to do that in my church, and there was a lot of liberty for expression. There was nothing for us to take elements of different styles of music, whether it be from pop or even jazz. We could take, I remember we would take licks from Birdland, and we would incorporate that into within my faith tradition. We call it the shout.
Mm-hmm.
Where people would really, it was just exuberant praise,
Mm-hmm.
and the band would get going, and we could interject whatever we heard and whatever we liked.
Mm-hmm.
So lots of liberty to express ourselves. So I didn't grow up in a restrictive environment, and I was also encouraged and supported to study music formally.
Okay.
Unlike many of the people that I looked up to, even in the church.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them were told, don't go and study music formally because you will be playing the devil's music. And but that wasn't the case for me. I was encouraged to
Mm-hmm.
not only play gospel music, but to play other styles of music. So,
well, that's a wonderful thing to be raised in an open environment, so to speak. So, give thanks because that openness enable you to see the whole universe, I would say. And I'm sure by now, well, I'm assuming, and that's not always good, but by now maybe you have found someone in the jazz world that may be interpreting music in the way that you see it and understand it. Is that the case?
no.
No. Okay. Well, I thought that because, if I understand correctly, you did your dissertation on McCoy Tyner, and why did you choose him?
I chose him because I feel myself, as far as the way that he expresses himself and the way that he plays, it represents a lot of what I see in myself.
Mm-hmm.
It transcends intellect. It transcends, for me, just the normal, the everyday human experience. When I listen to McCoy, I hear freedom. I hear, and I when I play music, I feel the same. It's spiritual. It's spiritual. You know.
Well, that's the synergy that I relate both of you to. And I'm blessed to know him, and my experience with you. You know, when I heard that that's where you were going, I relate you both to a similar experience. Yours is Christian, his is Islam. But the synergy, I'm a person that believes there's only one God. You know, I don't care what it's called, what what God is called. As Dr. Ben said many years ago, you know, he said some people call him Uncle. Now, who am I to argue with that? You know, so that is an experience, an expression that, you know, some musicians bring to their art form. And I'm very pleased and satisfied that I get that expression from you when I hear you. You know, and that doesn't come from everyone. You know, not everyone brings that to the plate. You know, and definitely appreciate you, you know, bringing that to the plate for me, my experience.